Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with a quick European update. All right, now the dollar a little bit uncertain, right? It's really stalled, and the markets don't know what to do with it. We're waiting for the election. I think the voting polls open tomorrow, and it's going to get a little bit fever pitch. Now, the Chinese market, well, they're expecting more stimulus from the government, right? And if that's out there, that's probably usually on the money, right? The wealthy Chinese tell their mates, this is what we're going to do. They all get into it. And then once it actually happens, the markets go the other way. Anyway, let's get out of that. Let's just think about the what the US dollar is doing. We're seeing, you know what, it's this just the mildest sort of drift lower that you'll ever see, right? Like dollar Swiss is drifting lower. So is sort of euro, sterling, Aussie, RBA on hold as expected, and the Kiwi drifting sideways, and dollar CAD and dollar yen, right? The dollar pairs look like they want to go, but there's no confirmation yet. So this is where those crazy polls or post-voting polls are going to come into play. So just be aware, these things aren't real. A lot of them are made up. So what can we expect this week? Well, just hang on to your hat as far as the majors go. If you're trading the crosses, well then check out those as well. But you're looking at the dollar index right at the top of its range. Euros sort of just drifting sideways. Like none of these things know exactly where they're going, right? So like the Aussie and Kiwi, like at one end of the spectrum, you've got dollar CAD. I think it's at 2-year lows as well. So there's just a little bit of chaos. When that happens, traders at all the banks will just pull backwards, right? They just pull out of the market. So you've got some bits and pieces coming out here. Some S&P numbers there out of Europe, trade balance, like blah, blah, blah. There's nothing that is really going to impact the market. So all we want to be doing is keeping our eye out on breaking news, whether there's something dramatic happening with Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. You're going to see an impact on the equity markets and the bonds, right? And that will directly impact the US dollar and the rest of the currency pairs. Now, the good thing is right now, the US Treasury yields have stalled. If anything, just drifting back a little bit. That they are still much higher than where they were 3 weeks ago before this election took over, but that's where they are, right? So keep an eye on the flow into the equity markets, bonds, and currencies. We'll see what's going on. Right now, US equity futures are up, and we've got a bit of a risk-on profile. But you know what? These things aren't really moving, right? Like the ranges here through the Asian and early European sessions are minute, and that's because no one's playing, right? And there's no major economic numbers coming out to really give us inspiration. So just, if you can, be patient, wait for the outcome or wait for a clear setup either on the daily charts or on your hourly charts, or maybe look at the crosses. If you're really desperate for a trading opportunity, take the US dollar out of it. That's what you can do, right? And that's pretty much it, guys. That's how this week's going to play out. So just keep it real, manage your capital. Don't just trade just for the sake of it, because good trading opportunities will come up as soon as we know who's winning here, right? And that's where the action's going to be. All right, guys, have a good one. All the best. Cheerio.